just by showing up on Friday and then leave. And because so much goes on in your life, you need to have a good, flow of church. I wanted to say cultivate, but but you need to have a good flow of church. You need to be around the men and women of God. That needs to rub off on you. And because when you go home, the truth is, I'm not gonna say this for y'all, but I was involved. I was in a house where it wasn't too stable, and that affects you. I was around people, that I didn't separate from yet that had an effect on me, And so what I needed was to be closer to these people who are more rooted and, in the word, in the things of God, and somebody else could,
Just to add on that, the Bible describes it. Jesus told a parable, which is basically, it was a story he used to describe something, and in the parable, he was breaking down the different types of people, and one of those types of people was, he compared people to a field, or to the seed. I'm getting it all messed up now, and I know this, but anyway, Jesus said that there's people, right, that the seed is thrown, and then the plants come up really fast, it grows right away, and it looks beautiful, and it looks great, but then the sun comes out and the sun burns the plants. And he said the reason that happens is because the roots weren't dug in first because the ground was shallow, right? So the roots weren't in deep, so when the sun came, it killed it. And that's what happens with us when we don't allow our roots to get deep. When the sun comes, when the pressure comes, when the heat is on, then we can't take it. And how do you get your roots deep? That's only by reading your Bible. That's only by coming to church, because even, the beauty about coming to church is you hear somebody like Chino or Pastor Ken breaking down the word to you. So you can read the Bible and not understand. And then you come here and then they tell you what it means. So it helps you understand. And then you say, okay, that's how I should be looking at it. And then you go home and you read it yourself and you understand better.
It gives you a healthy view.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's a big, that's why it's so important to be here. And just on on a I guess broader level, I got a new position at work, and it's a lot of responsibility, it's a lot of pressure. If I mess up, I lose the company a lot of money, and if I lose them a lot of money, I lose my job. So it's, there's no, I've been there 6 years, but there ain't no loyalty. If I lose them enough money, they put somebody else in my chair. But being here and learning how to operate in the youth ministry, learning how to be responsible, learning how to be here on time, learning how to take directions when Chino says, I need this done this way, and learning how to do it that way and not be like, well, I think it's better to be done this way. You got what I'm saying?
And to add on to that, I wanted to say the word, it says iron sharpens iron. So it's very important, to get around,
so one man sharpens the other.
So that when you come and you develop those relationships with the leadership here, you learn things. And it's as simple as that in conversation, just talking to Chino, and he'll say, but why do you think this way? And tell me in the word why it's wrong, or why it should be a certain way, or why he told me something a certain way, if you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, I think it's very important that you just come, and the more you come, and the more you develop a relationship, not only do you see the love that everybody here has for you, and you learn to love also, because it's not always peaches and cream, the type of love that we're talking about, and that's for sure. It gets rough sometimes, it gets tense sometimes, but the beauty of it is you come out shining.
That's right.
Like a diamond, the most beautiful diamonds only come out beautiful through pressure. And I believe when you're in relationships with people, you come into contact with those things.
People that's going to confront the issues and not just let them...
To push you out of your comfort zone.
What does that mean, confront?
Yeah, because, you could get advice from somebody, and I'm not trying to, well, the truth is that the church is separated from the world. But I'm not trying to, put us on a pedestal or anything. But you could get advice from somebody, and it'll sound good, and it'll sit well with you. It'll, feed you the feeling that you have, or, or you can get the right advice, and the right advice is not always what you want to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and if that never gets confronted in you, it becomes an even bigger issue, you know, and it could get worse. Just to elaborate.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Now, do any of you guys out there have any questions for the panel so far? Come on, fire them up, fire them up.
I have a question. How do you know when you're ready to be a youth leader?
Question is, how do you know when you're ready to be a youth leader? That's a good one.
I think first off, it just has to be something that's burning in you. Like you should, if you don't just say I want to be a youth leader, like that's just the first step. Is you gotta want it. I remember coming in and I'm like, I want to be on that stage rapping. I want to be preaching. I want to be teaching. I want to be cleaning the bathroom. I want to be wiping down. I wanted to be involved because I saw it as something big, and I wanted to be part of it, and I wanted to help it to advance. And so I think that's the first step is you gotta realize you want it, and then through faithfulness, through long suffering, through being around, through staying around. I think a big problem is a lot of people come and they're like, when I'm ready, that's when I'm ready. But that's not how it is with God. When you're ready, now God is gonna make you really ready. And so it takes time, and God will highlight you. You know what I mean? Like God will show. God knows. That's I think what I'm trying to say. You don't really know. God knows. You know, and He'll let you know and let the people around you know when it's time. I never walked up to Chino and said, "Hey Chino, can I have the mic this Friday night?" No, but I was faithful. I was in the bathroom cleaning. I was vacuuming. I was here before the doors opened, and I was the last one out with Chino when the doors closed. And then God highlighted me, and one day Chino was like, "Hey, you preaching Friday?" And I was like, "Oh, snap. Okay, cool." You know what I'm saying? So it's and it's something that I wanted for a long time. For a long time, like I would fiend for it, but I wasn't ready. And when God knew I was able to handle it, the Bible says He won't give you anything you can't handle. And so when God knew I was able to handle it, He opened the door so that I could move into the next level. Does that answer your question, Tommy?
I want to also answer. My view on that is a little bit different. Like, only because of my experience. When we first started youth ministry, it was just something that I went into. It wasn't something that I said, I can't wait to do it. I want to be a leader. I want to do this. I want to do that. It was just something, it came up. It was like, we need somebody to lead worship, and I was the only kid that sung. So I did it, and that was it. Later on, I don't know, like for me, it was just like, I was kind of just going through the motions. It was like, I'm a leader, and that was it. But later on, I could say it really, like, okay, there was a period of time where I was kind of slacking and I fell off, and it wasn't something that I wanted, but at the same time, like, you ever lose something and then you really want it back? That's kind of what happened with me.
I want to tell
their
you
exes. They all thought about an ex right now. And they all started singing Let It Burn in their head. Every one of them.
Remember that song, man?
No.
Nah, I got a story. Not like a big story, but, because he was talking about, like, losing something. And it wasn't taken away from me, but I remember there was a point in time where I broke my foot. I couldn't, matter of fact, I ministered with a broken foot while I killed that
He
set.
did the Harlem Shake on one leg.
Doing it, Doug? Nah, it wasn't out yet. But it was a time where I broke my foot and I couldn't really do nothing. I couldn't get to the church, and so like I was away from youth ministry for a while. Like, what was it, like a few months, like a few weeks, right? And I remember the feeling that I had, and he was talking about that feeling when you lose something. And I think in that feeling, or, it's not just a feeling because too, because this is what God called you to do. But in that time, like, I remember feeling like this is for me. You know what I'm saying? Just because I was feeling that feeling. I'm saying feeling a lot, and I don't like it.
I feel like.
Anybody have a synonym for feeling?
It's not a synonym, but it's like that's when it clicked, when I realized that youth ministry was for me. You know, because like Dave, I didn't go into it, but you know, I was, you know, Pastor Chino would be like, yo, Rod, you rapping, like, and then all of a sudden I started to get into my word a lot, and I started to incorporate the word into that, so I started being used for Fridays, you know, but it was